Alright guys, so after you must have fixed your linings, then the next thing to do is to go and weave. Then after weaving, you bring your left panel of your shorts, of your trouser, right? Then place your plackets at this position and then thread from here. Please note, thread from here. This is the left panel of the trouser. Stitch it all through to the very point. Make sure you use the machine footer in threading it or in sewing it. Then cut off the excesses at that point. So after that, the next you will do now is to top stitch it. So you fold it this way. You are top stitching on the placket and not on the fabric, right? Please note, top stitch on the placket where you have the placket on the fabric. Top stitch to the very end. Then after that, you cut your threads as usual. Cut your threads as usual. Then bring the other placket as well. Remember, I have weaved it and it was on fold or it's on fold. Then place it this way. Sew from the up, the down to up on the right side. Stitch from the down to up on the right side. Then cut your threads as shown. Cut off the excesses. Then bring the the right panel of your trouser. Measure from the waist point 7 inches or 7.5. Give it a notching for the zip fixing. Once you notch it, that same area that you have sewn on first, is from that position is where you're going to start sewing again. And make sure that you cover the first line you made initially. Cover the first line you made initially with your new stitching. So stitch a bit after the line you have previously sewn, the one you used in attaching the zip. Cut your threads as shown, and then after which, this is what it looks like. After which, place the left panel to mirror each other. The right sides must face each other. So after you have done that, then start from the curvy area, but while stitching it, give like half an inch or a quarter inch off. Make sure that the bow panels are aligning. So start from somewhere there. Don't start from the beginning, right? And stitch all through to the very point. After which, you double thread it. Make sure it goes twice. The double threading is very important. Make sure it goes twice. So now, after you must have done that, you align the two panels to correspond. Then stitch down the zip area from the inside. Stitch to the very end. Cut your threads and then cut your threads in this form. After which, open it up this way and then balance it properly. Make sure it's properly balanced. Let me iron and come back. Alright, so now I want to iron the zip points. So you have to sprinkle water on it. If you don't have the same iron, you can use a dry set iron and sprinkle water on it. Then bring a pieces of the fabric. So now you place a fabric on top, then you iron. Now the reason for that fabric is to make sure that the iron does not stain any parts of the striped fabric, and it is not going to edit in bleeding, right? That in dropping color, because if you sprinkle water and touch hot iron on a fabric, even though it doesn't bleed, There's every tendency that the hotness of the iron and the dampness of the iron could make it bleed. So try to avoid using a hot iron on the direct surface of the fabric. So after that, the next to do now is to iron out the linings properly. Iron them out properly this way. Iron the linings out properly. Hold them down on the sides. And then you iron them properly that way. Fold it down this way. You iron nicely. Make sure everything is properly taken care of, right? Because if you don't do it now, you might forget. So once you iron it, like I told you guys, the reason for the pleating, it helps the lining to relax without contracting the trouser lap area and all the body. Alright, so now after that, the next thing to do now is to thread the zip area. So you are just going to measure 1.3 or 1.2, but maximum is 1.5. But the normal I use is 1.3 for all adults. Thread from there. Make sure you arrange all through the body of the zip and the panel. And don't be in a haste to do this. Carefully run your thread and make sure that your hands are straight or must be straight. Then once you get to the end point of the zip, you curve it in a way that will be perfect. Don't make an irregular curve there. So once you are done with the curving, you are good, you are done with the zip fixing. And then the next thing we are going to face now will be to fix our band, which the band contains elastic at the back, rope in front. Already we have fixed our zip, right? So you have known how to do this. So just lock it there that way. Lock it there that way. And then after which you now start measuring, calculating your waist point. So now, before you do that, the next thing to do here is to determine the opening where the rope will come out from. So from the sideline, I am measuring 7 inches, or from the pocket tip 4.5. So from the pocket edge 4.5, and then from here as well 4.5. You measure and mark. So this is where the rope will come out from, so that your rope will be coming out in a perfect position, so that it doesn't look odd, or one will come front or one will be at the back. So you need to be perfect enough in your opening, right? Then remember the front band has been gummed. So I'm trying to calculate the opening now. So mark the point where the opening has been calculated. Then fold it backwards in this form, and then stitch there. I will show you how the stitching is done. Stitch there, but make sure you stitch it at the point that will be facing outside, but don't stitch it to the very end. Stitch it and leave a gap. Jump it. The jumping or the opening will be a gap enough to accommodate the rope insertion. So stitch to the very end. Let me show you closely. Cut the thread at that joining point. Then slit it from here this way. I will also show you again when we start the other side as well. So once I've done that, then you position it this way and then start locking. So just walk to the end, you will see the second one as well. Start from there and join. So after which, split all through the end, stitch all to the end, cut your threads, and this is the opening we are craving for. Then cut the excess band from there. So see the opening we have been craving for. You can open it, right. I will also show you how the second one will be made or is done. Then cut excess zip there. Then make sure you hold it firmly that way, and then fold it backwards to know exactly where you are going to lock the tip of the zip area from. So lock it straight. The locking should flush on the flap tip. Then cut your threads, tuck it in. You have successfully closed that point. Push it out with your needle, scissors tip or edge, and then this is how the first one is done. So let's go and do the second one so you understand better. So before that, you use it to calculate the positioning where you stitch from. So that one band will not be longer than the other. So you use it to calculate the band position. Alright, so now let me show you guys again how I did the marking for the opening, right? Remember, I marked from the pocket tip here 4.5 inches inside, then place the half band for the half part of the trouser, right? Then mark the chalk indicating where the opening is. So once you mark it that way as well, then you fold the band backwards. You fold it backwards this way. So once you fold it backwards, you are going to stitch from the inside part, but give room at the center of the front band, right? That's where you gum at the center, not the foldings, the one that is straight enough. So fold on that line, arrange it properly, stitch the half an inch first. Then once you encroach a little bit on the line, you jump, give like half an inch opening. That opening will serve you for the rope head to come out. Stitch from there again and end the stitching all through to the very end. Then after which you split it. You cut it out this way, and the opening has been created. Right? Then you make sure that joining point is marked, is positioned on that chalk line, so that the row point will remain the opening point, right? So this is what I did on the first one. So if you don't understand the first one, you should be able to understand this one now. So you now thread or stitch on your folded edge. Please note how this was done. Watch this video over and over again and understand the concepts before you come up with your questions, right? The videos, I think, are self-explanatory enough. So it's just for you to watch them closely, observe what I did, and repeat yours. You will get the same results, if not better results. So after this now, you cut your threads and then cut the excess flap. And this is what we have. So you have achieved the rope opening. Then the next thing to achieve now is to close the tip where the flap or the band ended. So you just have to fold it backwards again and stitch it this way. Now, if you have watched my video on Ankara making, this is the same procedure or same process I use in closing the front tip of the band of Ankara. After that, tuck it backwards, and then you have it coming out in this form. Use your scissors and push up the tip to come out properly. So after this, you now fold the band and you are done with this. Then cut the excesses at the side, to which I will also show you guys how to put the elastic at the sides of my trouser. So we'll now proceed to the back panel of the trouser. Please note that the back panel of the trouser, if it has elastic, there is no need for inner pockets, right? Or back pocket, because of the nature of the cotton. Now bear in mind that the back cotton had a 3-inch or 3.5-inch raising. So this is where the work will start from. So place it as shown this way. Make sure it is aligning. Cross check it to the very end. Make sure that the trouser lengths of both the front panel and the back panel are the same. So once they are equal, you have achieved one of the perfections you might be looking for. Then hold them intermediately and align it properly again. After which, this is what you are going to have. So you continue from there and open up the front band to stitch it half an inch from this point, half an inch, stitch all through to the very end, stitch all through to the very end, and make sure as you are stitching, you are arranging the trouser sides. Please note, don't allow the pockets to enter the track of where you are stitching. Don't also allow anything, rumples or foldings to go, and make sure that you are conscious of the length of the both legs, that's the both panels, right? That's the front and the back. So if you are conscious of the panel, then you will not have any issue of the length being longer. If you have that issue, you have to lose one panel, lose the legs, and start sewing again or start joining again. So this is where most tailors do have problems. But if you adhere to my instructions and to my directions, you will not have similar problems. This will make you to be learning faster. Then after that, cut your threads, and then you continue the same thing on the other side as well. So making sure that you start again from there to also join your trouser panel. Remember that the band was cut together with the back panel, so the back has an extra 3 inches length than usual, right? So this is what we have here. So now you join the sides and making sure that you don't have any hitches or rumples or whatsoever. Join all through to the end. Join all through to the very end. Join all through to the very end. Join all through to the very end. Arrange it properly. Stretch anyone that is shorter so that it laps. Please don't make the mistake of one length being longer. And even if you make the mistake, don't trim it out. If you trim it out, the back panel becomes stretchy and it will be making the back sidelines of the trouser to come in front. So because by the time you stretch it, you have shortened the length, and that means you are forcing a shorter length to enter in a longer length, which will result in that same thing I have just said now. So after that, this is what we have. This is what we have. This is what we have. All right, so now we are trying to open press. Like I told you guys in my previous video I do send, once you have sewn the trouser, before you start closing, please open press. Open pressing is an art where you use your iron to open the sides of your trouser. You sprinkle water on it, and then you iron out the joining. This helps to relax the sidelines to make it look relaxed. And if you have any confusion, any problems, or any issue, it will be visible when you open pressing. So the open pressing inch must be equal. When you are stitching, please note these places I am emphasizing on so that you will not have further problems in trouser making. Trouser is actually one of the simplest things to make because it doesn't have much designs. So, but then most people see it as a nightmare because they have not learned from Mr. Redefined. But the moment you learn from me and put it into practice, you'll be sure and certain that you can make any trouser, any size, any type for anybody at any time of your fashion career. So these videos I'm making for you guys. I have used the methods, I have tested them in the course of my years of sewing, and I have confirmed the fitting and the finishing and the outcome. So I am not just giving you what I have not cross-checked. So there is no problem or issues whatsoever on my methods, and I have used almost all of them before I bring it out for you guys to learn on my channel. So here you iron out all the processes involved. Then you fold the front band. When you're folding, it will help you now to fold the back band, so for them to align properly. So you fold the back band, make it to align properly, and then use your cooler as well to cool it off. Pull it off all through this way again, and make sure that the folding is also corresponding as you have initiated it from the onset. So these are more words you will learn from me. Keep on watching my videos. Don't forget to like and share, and also invite your friends to join us on this platform to learn. So arrange every panel properly, then fold the last tip. Remember, I use 3.5. So in your own case, you can use 4 inches so that you have enough allowance to fold however you want it to be. So this is what you should also do when you get to this stage. So I'm done doing this. So let me also do the same thing on the other side of the trouser. You see how I am taking my time to cross-check every foldings and to lap it properly to make sure it doesn't give us issues when we are fixing our elastic. And don't forget that this video will have elastic, so do stay tuned. Watch to the very end. Don't be in a haste. Don't fast forward the video. Let me do the rest in pressing. I will come back to show you the results.